Welcome to another episode of AI Powered Career Edge. Today I have with me Aditi Sen. Aditi and I met recently, and I was really impressed with Aditi's background in marketing. Not only that, but her ability to adjust to different environments across different borders and kind of reinvent herself every time, but with the real foundation being knowing how to market. So Aditi, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Yousuf. Thank you for this opportunity to be a part of your podcast and to have this discussion about the AI world that we are living in right now.
Yes, I'm really excited. I think I can learn a lot from you and how you've navigated your career and how you use AI, and so could the people who are listening to this podcast. Let's start off a little bit, Aditi, about your background. Tell us a little bit about what your experiences have been, but really, what do you feel that you specialize in and you have the deepest experience and curiosity about?
Yeah, sure. So about myself. So I've been in the marketing industry for the last 13 years now. I started back in India after finishing my MBA, and then I moved to the States in North America. Like you said, I call myself the nomadic marketer. If you go into my LinkedIn, that's the first thing that you'll see, because I have moved so much, like across borders. So starting my career in India, moving to the States. In India, I was working in financials, like in consumer product good. From there to the States, I was working in financial services in a Fortune 500 company. From there, again, I moved to Canada. So I lived in Canada for 6 years. I worked in startups and small e-commerce businesses. And from B2C, I pivoted into manufacturing, B2B industry. So working with all engineers on like utilities, like it was a power cable organization, so wire and cable organization, one of the leading Canadian organizations. So worked for industries for utility, nuclear, space. So that was like a completely different
Oh my
landscape.
goodness.
Yeah, and then again from there, now I'm back to the States in New Jersey. I'm a marketing manager in Virtual Driver Interactive. We are into the educational tech industry. Yeah, we make simulators for driving schools and driving educators.
So the first question that comes to mind, Aditi, is how do you adapt to these different industries, different financial models, different ways that the companies probably present themselves, market themselves, different customer base. So when you first start a new role, how do you educate yourself so quickly to get going?
And that's a very right question. So it's all about learning. I think for me, if you've read about different books that says I follow the Zen ideology that my glass is always half empty. Like whenever I go into a new role, I first absorb before sharing what I know. So that's how I've always been. Learn from the people around you. Learn the job that has already been done, and find out what's missing. So my expertise comes into the role based on what's missing over there. But honestly speaking, marketing is such the basic, like the 4 P's or the 7 P's of marketing: product, price, promotion, packaging. They remain the same whichever industry you go into. And what just varies are the different tools and the techniques. So what I did in consumer product good was same, but it was different in an insurance industry, because here my audience was different, their pain points were different, and how I'm communicating to them, that's the marketing expertise. But then again, marketing is nothing, just it's an art, right? You're just understanding their consumer pain point and you're developing a product and promoting it to them. So uh, learning, I would say, being curious, being learning what they want, learning on the job. So, and right now I'm learning AI and into this AI world. And
Yes.
yes, I've been learning AI on the job as well for the last 2 years.
So Aditi, what does learning AI on the job mean to you? What describe it for people?
So that would basically be so when all of us, like AI has always been there. I mean, since the 1900s, it's been there. It's not a new invention that happened overnight, or Sam Altman just brought it to the world. It did not happen like that. But what actually happened with ChatGPT, with OpenAI 2 years back when they came, and they gave us a browser or an interface which was completely different to the Google world. So all marketers like us, like me, I would say, who were into digital marketing and trying to maneuver our ways into the Google ecosystem, because it like 95% of the traffic is in Google. So you're trying to rank higher through the search, through display, through everywhere, or trying to organically rank higher through SEO. So suddenly there was this shift happening in the industry with OpenAI coming, and it kind of did like a created a havoc, I would say. And that is when it caught my attention as well, because it appeared like, yes, this is the future. And I'll tell you why as well. So beginning of my career, I was completely into traditional marketing. So I was doing TV, press, print. And then with COVID happening, there was this sudden transition and everyone pivoted into digital marketing. So suddenly everybody needed more digital marketers because people were spending more time on the web. Social media was growing like anything during that time. So digital first became the first thing. So that transition, I saw the transition happening just like a few years back. And then with AI coming, I knew this is the next wave that's going to come. So 2 years back, when things were changing, I was like, okay, fine, I need to be on top of this. I need to learn. And the company that I was working in then, uh, I mean, it was an opportunity to play. Like I got an opportunity. Obviously, there were the IT barriers, and you had to understand what are you sharing or what you're not sharing. And I think people have evolved, because even the tools themselves, they have started educating people on what to, like how much you can share or how much you should not be shared due to data privacy reason. But I was well versed with it, so the team had confidence of me using the AI tools as well. So I would say yes. So going back to your question, it's more about me being curious and trying to be ahead of the curve. So that's how I
Yeah.
started my journey with AI learning.
In my work as a career strategist, I see that most people are in wait and see mode. So
Hmm.
they'll use AI in their personal lives for tasks or to,
Yeah.
their curiosity, what have you. But they're very apprehensive about using it for work. Most
Hmm.
people. I'm generalizing. There are always exceptions.
Yeah.
I know people who are super smart. They'll be in vice president, SVP positions at companies, and they just have not touched AI for their work, saying, "Hey, there are compliance issues. There's this risk that or I don't know how it would apply. My work is too complex, and I can't
Mhm.
really get involved with AI." So most people are in wait and see mode, but you dove right in.
Yeah.
So what were the pros and cons of diving right in?
So yeah, so there are two things into it. With pros, the biggest pro that comes is since I started my journey with ChatGPT giving us the search platform, so I've evolved from using it as a search, working on prompt engineering. So right now I'm beyond, and I'm trying to use agents. So I'm going with that shift that's happening in the world. So I'm not behind and just using AI
Mm,
tools like a search engine. I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm ahead of the curve, and I'm right now trying to do agent my work. So as I'm doing a work, like I'm focusing on something and my agent is running parallelly, trying to get a report pulled or trying to get a report summarized. So I'm multitasking. And one thing, Yusuf, that has happened for me in my current work, which is a constraint for bigger organization, which comes to data privacy. So in my current work, it's a very small team. We are a nimble team. So I'm the only marketer over here. But I would say my AI team, so I have an AI team. And I'm the team
okay.
lead for my AI team. So that's how I call myself. So I'm the marketing manager to my AI team. So there's no
Yeah.
physical people, but I have Claude, I have OpenAI, I have Perplexity. So I have all these models that I work with, and I have
Mm,
identified what's the strength of each model, and what job can I get each one of them to do for me on a daily, day-to-day basis. So that's the pro part of it, is that since I started my
ahead of the curve.
yeah, since I dug my hand into it early, now I'm ahead of the curve. I'm not using it as a search engine when most of the audience is stuck at. The con part
Yeah.
is and I would say not con for me, but for bigger organization is the security part of it. And that's right, because I remember in my previous organization where we were having all these training sessions by the IT and security team, and they actually had a real life example where somebody from the legal team had uploaded a full-fledged legal document into ChatGPT. It was like a 300-page document and asked it to summarize it. No, whoa, you cannot do that. So
Wow.
those are the things, and which definitely concern. So for big organizations, it's definitely a concern. But however, I would say that was a good 1 year back, because even in the last 1 year, all the big organizations have become AI friendly, because the future is AI. And if you're not training your employees how to use AI today, or if you are not using AI, you would become a dinosaur. I have to say that. So
Yeah.
uh, and another thing that has also happened with the tools themselves, which they did not have, is that they would not train on their model based on the data. So which was a problem earlier. So if you go into the
Mm-hmm.
settings section now, you can actually choose and say that I am not going to train your model. So that's one capability that has happened over the last few months, which was not there before. So you can go into the settings section of if you're using ChatGPT or if you're using Claude. So go into the settings section and you can make the changes. You can give it your own persona, and that's very important. Like as a marketer, for me, I need to go and update and provide information of what my tone of language is like for my brand persona or my brand identity. I need to I have incorporated that. And also I have also enabled the function that says that you are not going to train your models based on my data. So
Okay.
yeah, so I think that's a good security to have. But at the end of the day, it is open source, so we know that.
Yeah.
And they are taking information. It's just that for bigger organizations, but that landscape is evolving. So I'm sure the
It is.
CTOs are figuring it out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you use it for work, obviously, not it. You use different forms of AI and different platforms. What was your aha moment using AI for work, saying, wow, this is really powerful?
So in my in my current job, like I said, I don't have a team. Like in my previous job, I had a graphic designer, I had agents. It was a big organization. My recent job, like in my current organization, it's a very small team, like I said. So I don't have the budget, and also I don't have the time, or I don't have people that I can outsource and send for graphic
Yeah.
designing. My aha moment has been using the MCP connectors, if you've heard about it. So MCP connectors are nothing, just the APIs in the new, it's API in a new form. So using MCP connector with the Canva and getting a creative generated in Canva with a prompt in Claude. So I love doing that. So I'm
Oh,
creating my social media carousels or a social media post in Canva just by a prompt in Claude, because I have it connected with Canva. Yes.
wow.
And
That
the same
is
with Google
terrific.
Drive. So yeah, even with Google Drive. So since I have the MCP connector done with Google Drive, so I'm getting presentation decks done in Google Drive. So I give the prompt of what I want, the clarity in my thought that okay, this is the objective, this is what you're going to do, this is the output, and also including in the prompt that how do I want the creative to be. White space, use the brand colors, this is the font type, this much font should be. If I want images, I want images. So as brief as I like, as deep as I can go into my brief, I can generate the output or a complete creative output on Google ecosystem or in something like a Canva. So that has been my aha
And
moment.
can these AI platforms look at other presentations that you've done and
Yes.
get some sort of aesthetic or content ideas from your previous presentations on your Google Drive?
So that's a very good question, Yusuf. So there's a bit of training going into it. So like I said, I'm using the AI tools as a team member. So it's like, so when I onboarded them, they also underwent a training with me. So and the
Okay.
part of
Okay.
training is to make them understand that what's my brand voice, what's my brand tone. This is how I create the creatives. So with Google Drive, there's a drive, like you can make a folder where you can add all your assets, and once you link it, it can go and read everything that's there, and it can self learn, and within seconds, all of this is happening within
Wow.
seconds. And
Wow.
even with Canva, like once I connect it with my organization's Canva interface, it goes into it and it sees what has been done in the past. So it's training itself based on the information that's already available there. And yeah, so that's one of the biggest way.
And
Also,
Canva has its own AI, right? And Canva itself has,
yeah, Canva has its own AI. So, okay, that's another beautiful point that you brought up. You can also do this. So, with Canva AI, you can. So, if Claude or if ChatGPT created something in Canva, I can go into Canva and I can make further changes into it. But 80% of the job is already done. So
wow.
that's the last
Okay.
20% where I share it for reviews with my leadership, and then they have like, okay, let's change this, let's bring this down, or most of it is correct, just a little bit of changes. So that I'm doing in Canva, and that's not taking much time. So
Mm,
there I'm using Canva image enhance tools, or other magic eraser tool, for instance, because
yeah, the finishing touches. Yeah.
yes, the finishing touches with Canva AI. Obviously, with AI, like graphic designers, I know have friends in the industry. They're like, you can understand if something's made with AI. They will say that, and I
Yeah.
completely understand that. But then again, when you are multitasking and wearing multiple hats, and now and in the current times in a marketer's world, you have to reach out to your consumer in 10 different ways, because my consumer is on Google and also on social media and
Yeah.
also reading something. So and you have to be nimble. So it's okay. It's okay to cut
Yeah.
them some slack and let them use some AI generated content.
Yeah. I mean, I know my background's in communication. And so the idea is that are you getting your message across? And I'm
Yeah.
sure in marketing, AI or not AI, whether aesthetically someone can tell if it's AI generated or not. The important thing is your marketing message getting across?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. And art direction purists will probably say, "Hey, I can figure out it's not AI," but is the marketing message getting across? I'm sure that's the most important part of the effort for you. You have been able to do a lot with AI. You're a one person team. You're able to. It's like you said, you built a team using these AI agents and done a lot with it. And you run a whole marketing team on social media, the art side of it, and so for people who are in wait and see mode, and you've done this, you mentioned, past 2 years, you've gotten into AI and you're ahead of the curve because you just, maybe there was a lot of trial and error, maybe some frustration up
Yeah.
front, uh, but you're ahead of the curve. That's a huge advantage of getting your hands dirty with it early. Is it too late for people who've been in wait and see mode to jump in and start using AI? People who are inspired and motivated by what you're telling them, because a lot of people think that it's very technical AI, and you as a marketing person, you were able to delve in. I'm sure it didn't involve any programming, or it wasn't that that whole dreaded technical programming side of AI that you had to delve into. So, what advice would you give to somebody who's still on the sidelines, but is saying, "Look, now I'm way behind the curve. Aditi's way ahead because she started 2 years ago, and she." But what would you say to them?
Yeah, so there are like two parts to it. One is the too late part, and the one other part is the technical part of it. And I'll
Yeah,
reply to
yeah,
both of them separately. So it's not too late. It's definitely not too late, because even and I'll say that why is because when I started 2 years back, the interfaces with ChatGPT was still very rudimentary, I would say. Like they had GPT-1, GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, and every week we were like, okay, how is GPT-5 different? So we was like, people like me who are not, because that time it really mattered if you're technical or you're not technical. If you understand coding, you're from the IT background, it really mattered if you're engineer or non-engineer. I'm a non-engineer. My background is arts and MBA, and I was just learning, and I could see it was making mistakes. And I had my colleagues who were like frustrated with the outcome. No, it's not right. So I've been with that journey. Right now, it's at I would say it's 95, 99% very good when it comes to that search part of it. So it's not what it used to be
Mm.
1.5 year back. So for people who have been waiting to start, I would say now, please start now. Uh, please
Yeah.
start now, because if you start after 1 year, because everything is changing every day, they come up with a new model. Like Claude, it came up with what
Yeah.
was it? Opus 4.8. I mean, I wake up and I see, okay, something else has happened. And Gemini
Yeah.
is coming up with new models. So, like when I started for image creation, there was Mid Journey. It was one of the tool, and then there was uh, you had what was that tool? Sora, yeah.
Yes.
ChatGPT had
For
Sora.
image creation, video creation. Yeah.
And now it's out because it did not work as efficiently as Google's Nano Banana, and now Google
Yeah.
has Pomeli, and Google has Omni. And I don't want to scare people who are listening to this. And okay, she knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
How am I ahead of this? How do I know so much? Because I've actually learned through all of these, and some of these tools are
Mm.
not even there anymore. Like Sora is not even there anymore, and it's fine if you haven't used it, because you don't have to use it anymore. But right now, the new versions like VO3 or Nano Banana or Google's Omni, they're like amazing, just amazing. I mean, they're so
Mm.
realistic, and the output, I would say, what you want to get done, and it's very easy. So the biggest thing that you have to know about it is what you want to do. So you need to be a good communicator. To use AI, you need to know your English well. I think that is the
Mm.
end statement to
And that's
everything.
for prompting purposes,
And that's for
right? In order to
prompting, yeah.
prompt.
And
Yeah.
even if you don't want to write, you can just use the voice prompting. Voice prompting is excellent. I mean, just tell it. It's like just talking. You're thinking and just talk out
Mm.
loud as if you're just talking to yourself, and it'll just capture everything efficiently. And there you just have to review it. Okay, fine. This is what you were thinking, and just enter. So right now the tools are in their best phase of what they used to be. So it's okay if you're starting right now, just don't delay it further. That's number one. With respect to the technical part of it, again, I will say I don't know how to code, but I use Claude to build a email for me on HTML. I copy that HTML. I go into my email marketing tool that I use for my organization, paste that HTML, and it is done. So
Wow.
I'm using
Okay.
coding to write emails, but I don't know how to code. So and
Mm.
then again, like if you're using CMS, so for instance, if you're using WordPress, and I don't need a developer as of today. Like today, I know I don't need a developer to go and add scripts on the website for web tracking, because what I can actually do, and I'm telling this from my real life experience. So I had an issue, and I had to put in certain tracking codes on my website. And I didn't go to my developer. I just took snapshot of my WordPress interface. I put it into Claude and said, "This is my problem. What should I do?" Claude told me, "Go here, put this. Once you're done, send me the snapshot again, and I will verify if it's
Oh
done
wow.
correctly or not." And it was done.
That's
So
amazing.
it is amazing. So I don't have to write the code. Claude wrote the code, told me exactly where to put it. And at one point, I get blind. I'm like, I can't see it. And Claude is like, see the top right corner. You need to go and press at that button. I'm just like, actually, I'm
Mm.
talking with a human being. I have that co-worker
Yeah.
with me
So
with
you
who
use the voice part in order to engage with Claude. You don't even type anymore. It's like having a conversation.
yeah, I use both. I use both voice as well as like taking snapshots and typing, depending where am I. If I'm in office with everyone around me, I am not using the voice, but yes, I also use the
Yeah.
voice mode very frequently.
So
Like
in
I'm
terms of,
like, because I also have my own version of Claude on my own phone. So that is another thing, which is for the self-paced learning part of it. That if your organization is not allowing you, or you have restrictions or gatekeeping, which is absolutely fine, spend $20 for yourself per month. Get a subscription for one of the tools, either Claude or Perplexity or OpenAI, ChatGPT, and just use it for your own personal projects. Like just
mm,
get your hands and fingers into it. And that's,
yeah.
so I have my own Claude. I have my own subscriptions to running for my personal life as well, other than my professional work.
So it seems like you're not, if you want to delve into it now, you're not late to the game, but it's really now or never,
Yeah.
because after this you will be late to the game. Now I've heard in a lot of organizations they have an abundance of agents flying around that do the same thing. So the marketing department has a set of agents, but then the risk department, the sales department has the same ones, and now they're trying to say, all right, how do we kind of streamline this so we have one agent to do one thing and other people can leverage that same agent. So it's now going from people using agents to too many agents, and then or streamlining the agents. So before we know it, we will get left behind, because if we don't understand the terminology and we don't know where the trajectory is of where AI is and how it's being used, we will get left behind. So now's the best time. And the technology constraint is just not a constraint. If you're an arts major or somebody with a marketing background or an MBA or finance or history for that matter, any background, you can delve into AI, and if there's a coding piece that you need to do to create a website, or even to a connection between two different um, applications. So whether it's your AI application in Canva, like you said, Aditi, and other ones, you can do that now. So you don't really need to know how to code in order to use AI and even do some technical things with AI. So that was super helpful. I think it's encouraging for people who are in wait and see mode. Aditi, you've done a lot in a short amount of time. And you've proven that you don't need to be a technologist in order to delve in and get things done. You're a one-person team. That's a lot in a short span of time. You're an early adopter, and obviously, you are enjoying the dividends of being an early adopter. But even if you're not, you're saying jump in now, and you
Yeah.
can still learn it and use it effectively. I think that'll be very helpful for the people listening to this to our podcast. Aditi, thank you so much. Any message that you have for people out there who are toying with AI, or on the fence, or just starting off, anything that you want to share with people, or as a marketer, if you want to share any advice for those marketing professionals out there who are marketing for small or medium-sized businesses, who want to be a one-person team, and their company would love for them to be, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah, yes. No, thank you so much, Yusuf. This was a great discussion, and why I say it's important is because it's just evolving. So it's now or never, like you said. And one thing that I would like to say is not to be overwhelmed with AI, because AI is not
Mm,
going to come and take away your job. Uh, that's been going around, right? AI is, and because with all the layoffs that we've been hearing, that so many people are getting laid off, and honestly, layoffs happen every year. But it's just that AI is not going to take away your job. But if you don't learn how to use AI, that is going to take away your job. So that is my biggest thing I want to share right now. I don't know if you've heard about this term called the centaur model. It's basically when humans and tech, they work together. It's heavily used in chess, when chess players, they are playing off with computers, and they also play with humans. So that's how the future of AI is also going to look like. So humans and AI like are going to work together, and it's not different from using Google Ads like a few years back. So it's just the new
Mm,
interface of it. Like I said, I used to do print earlier. There was a time when I used to go from like door to door, like with my sales team. So from there to going into Google Ads, and from there Google Ads to going into this AI world, it's not getting complicated. Is a lens that the way you see it. It is
yeah.
complicated if you don't know it, but it's not complicated if you really know how to use it. So you don't have to be a tech person to use AI. That's a lot of things I said, but
No, but that's very important. And the part where you said that, look, if you don't learn how to leverage AI, you will definitely get left behind. Also, along with that, using to learn AI to do a lot of the manual administrative
yeah.
tasks. You also need to up your game in terms of strategic thinking and creativity and critical thinking. I think that is super crucial. And
Mhm.
it's not just enough to learn how to use AI. You still need to know your craft, whether it's marketing
Yeah.
or finance
Yeah.
or really well. And you need to
Mhm.
turn it up a notch to start to think more strategically about your craft. It's really what maybe your boss's boss used to do before in your field. If the admin stuff is taken care of, that's the mindset, that's the hat you need to put on. That strategically, how can I now move marketing or finance or HR forward in the organization strategically, as now that all the tactical, most of
Mhm.
the tactical pieces are covered. So I think that's really important as well. It's not
Yeah.
just enough to learn the AI piece. You really need to know your craft even better.
Right. No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of one person marketing teams out there, where do they start? How can they get to where you got to?
Get the subscription. So that's the first thing.
First step. Yep. Got
Yeah,
it.
start with one model if you don't want to, spend on multiple models, because at the end of the day, with smaller teams, you also have to be efficient with respect to budgets and the cost.
Hmm.
So start with one model. The first month is free. So I'm literally giving like very basic.
Yeah.
So if you start with ChatGPT, your first month is free, and in the states with Claude, it's not. But if you use Perplexity, you can use all the three models in Perplexity. So figure out what you want to do, whichever you want to start with. Select one and start your journey from there, and then experiment. I mean, I would just say, experiment. Like right now, I have figured how is a Claude different from an OpenAI, like or a ChatGPT, is just by experimenting, and then how ChatGPT agent works differently from a Claude agent. So the work that I wanted to be done has come out because I've experimented with it over the last few months or weeks. So start
Mm.
your journey, start investing, get that approval from your manager or your boss, and tell them the output, show them the output, and once you start showing them the craft, they will see that definitely it's not only takes away a lot of time which went on creating one creative. I mean, that time not only reduces, but you have additional time to spend on other things that you want to do. Because with marketers, there are like so many things that we want to do, but then some of them just go behind, because you
Yeah.
spend too much time into one creative, and then they're like the approval process, and people who are listening, they will understand the pain point that I'm talking about here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it depends on where the leadership of your company is.
Yes.
Are they playing catch up? So you can say, well, remember, we were trying to get this, we were trying to get this brand name recognition on social media. Well,
Mhm.
now it's possible and we can do it a lot faster and we can get there. So that's playing catch up. And then there's some leadership teams, we're looking for new ideas and innovation.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, now that we have the bases covered using AI, we can delve into those innovative things that we were talking about. It's
Right.
possible now because the tactical, repeatable tasks I've made sure that those are covered. So that
Right.
frees me up for more innovative thinking. And here are some examples.
Mhm.
So I am so impressed that you were able to do that and you have the trust of your leadership at your current company, Aditi. And thank you so much for sharing your experience and hopefully motivating others to just jump in and get started. And also, you injected a sense of urgency, so it's really now
Yeah.
or never.
Yeah.
Now is the point. Otherwise, it could get more complex from here to the point where it'll be a lot harder to catch up. So now's the
Absolutely.
best time. So thank you, Aditi,
And
for offering that to our audience.
yeah, I just add one thing, Yusuf, to the listeners is that even if your organization is not ready to, like invest, or they're still in two minds, spend for yourself then, have your own project, open an Instagram page or open a YouTube account and spend that $20 and create those carousels for yourself. You don't have
Mm,
you can have a free version of Canva to do it. You don't need to pay everywhere. So spend that $20 on yourself. It'll help you. It's the investment. So instead of going and taking a course somewhere, use this. It's like you will learn it by,
hands-on learning.
yeah, you'll learn it
Yeah,
by doing it. You won't learn by listening to someone. Like
yeah.
whoever is listening to this, good, but unless you go and do it yourself, you won't learn it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. This is one of those skills that it
Yeah.
has to be hands-on. You can start now,
Yes.
hands-on. Absolutely. Thank you, Aditi, for spending time with me today. And thank you for all the great advice and motivation you have shared for our audience. And good luck to you in being a one-person marketing team. And hopefully you can scale more and more. And
Yep.
so I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Yusuf, for inviting me. This was definitely a great discussion. And I'm glad to share my little bit knowledge that I've curated over the last few years. I'm glad to share that.